you liking what you see. Everything that done and that's on me. Hey, that's why though when I walk, looking like you, just tryna, yeah.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Camarray.
And I'm Zaiah. And this is the Music Report Card, where albums are reviewed based on the vocals, lyrics,
the production, and the sonic vibe, baby.
All right, we are back with our review to Pop Smoke's new album.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for. I made that up.
We'd like to invite you to subscribe. Make sure you like this video.
And drop down the comments and tell me my vocals was on point.
He just gonna
you know what I'm saying? I'm doing a Pop Smoke. It's the woo. You know what I'm saying? We get to it. Wait till I get my money back. And you can't tell me nothing, right? Yeah.
All right. So if you haven't already, please make sure you go back and check our actual reaction to our favorites. Right. But now we're going to get into the actual review. Bashar Jackson, better known as Pop Smoke, was an American rapper born in Brooklyn, New York. Pop Smoke began his musical career in late 2018 with his debut single, NPR. From there, he released 2 mixtapes, which were heavily inspired by UK drill music.
His single Dior rose to number 61 on the Billboard charts in September 2020, shortly after his untimely death, where he was gunned down in LA during a home invasion. Now Pop Smoke is back with his second posthumous album titled Faith, and we are here to review it.
We are here
to review it. That's right.
Old country bumpkin.
Yes. Now I have to say this real quick. Y'all should go back about a year ago. He dropped his first posthumous album, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, and that was one of our first reviews. And it's interesting to see that we're back here literally just a year later reviewing his second album, and I feel like this is a bit of a step up, but we're gonna jump into it and get into some things.
All right, before we get into the actual review, we always like to start off with a salutation.
That's right.
We salute you, Pop Smoke. We are grateful for your music still existing. We're grateful for those who actually brought your music to the forefront, and
that's right.
We're now able to hear it.
That's right.
So,
shouts out to Pop Smoke.
To you for giving
you remember that from the last album? He definitely sampled that song last album. That was one of my favorites too. I remember.
Was it?
It was.
All right, we are happy that you are here.
Yes.
Because
more than happy.
Pretty much everything that I'm giving on this album is pretty much the best of the best. Whereas my friend over here, if y'all watch the reaction video, you already know that it's Team Zaiah in the building.
I'm gonna let you have that for now, but we'll.
So I'm gonna start off with "How About the Coupe?" Hey, give me the loop. Hey. So this song, I love it. It's just got this turnt feel to it. It really sounds like it should be the single. He's talking big-ish. He's talking big-ish. Hey mama, we love you. He's talking big-ish on the album. Talking about having his guns and hopping out of the coupe and all of that. So, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. The song really speaks for itself. I think that y'all should definitely listen to it. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about it, because it's definitely a bop. It definitely will get you up and moving, even if you can't vibe or rock with the content and what he's talking about. It's just turn. It's just... Okay, moving right along. Camarray, what's your first favorite?
All right, so I actually like the real hip hop songs of the album. So we're gonna start with my first favorite, which was 8 Ball featuring Kid Cudi. And
Snooze Fest.
I love this song so much because of the instrumentation, the Spanish guitar, the little bass guitar that goes along with it.
Oh, that sounds just like real hip hop. Keep going.
It does.
Oh, okay.
It's so dope. The subtle congos in the back really add a nice little touch there.
Little afro. moment?
Not really Afro.
Oh, okay.
But it's just, I don't know what it adds just that nice little touch though.
Yeah.
I also think the melody is super duper creative.
Melodies from Heaven.
Melodies from heaven rain down on me. Why am I up there? I don't know.
Because you started there, I just,
I also love the little, his little backgrounds, his little, like Pop Smoke. I think, again, of course, these were all recorded probably around the same time between 2018 and when he got murdered. But I love it. It feels like he grew a little bit musically from the last album to this one.
Definitely.
Even though, like I said, we know that these were all recorded at the same time.
Around the same time.
But yeah, his little background vocals on this song, as well as Demeanor, which we'll get to in a moment, just for me added like a little R&B, little ting, you know what I'm saying, a little flavor. But it's still hood as far as the little lyrical content, where he's saying, you know, he's the 8-ball, he's in the pocket. So I loved it.
All right, moving right along to my next favorite, which is Ooh Baby, featuring Chris Brown. Y'all,
I knew that was going to be his favorite song.
let me just tell you something. I just like, honestly, what it is for me is both of their voices sound really good on the track. I love that his, you know, Pop has that darker sound, and then Chris Brown has the lighter, airy sound, but then he's still giving the swag singing moment, so that it's just cohesive to what's happening. So I just, you know, they gave very much meet me in the middle. It's just cohesive and it works really well together. The music really reminded me of Heat. You liking what you see. Everything that done and that's on me. Hey, that's why though when I walk, looking like you, just trying to, oh yeah. Mixed with Neo.
So sad and slow.
Y'all, when it comes in, you hear So Sick right away, but then eventually I start to feel that little, the Heat moment start to come in, and I was like, oh, okay, this is, it was familiar, so that's why it just, you know, it just resonated so well with me. And people, you know, audiences love things that are familiar. So shouts out to y'all for making this sound work out. I know Pop ain't around to really play the part in it, but whoever was involved in this, it was definitely dope. Moving right along.
Yeah, I don't like things that are familiar. I like things that are new and fresh. And so that takes us to my second song, Television, featuring Kanye West and Pusha T. Now listen, the song was initially slated to be released on Kanye's next album, we'll say, Donda. If you guys look at the little screen cap that he posted about a year or so ago, where he had his track list, the song was on there. But they basically reworked it and made the song what it is, what we know it today. But it's one of those songs for me that mixes, and I think that it probably has more so to do with Kanye West, but it mixes that UK drill music sound very well with what we know, that classic Kanye J kind of sample-esque sound, and I feel like Pop Smoke and Kanye's production really worked here. Pusha T's verse, listen, super duper dope. In my opinion, it's the verse of the album. I always have a problem though when the verse of the album comes from someone that is not the artist that's producing the album, like I said with Cardi B on Migos' album. But I have to give it up to Pusha T. The way he brought his verse in, and how he was like, Tyler got the album of the year right now, well, for now, and then he was like, but Pop is about to drop, so I see the platinum in the clouds. He was like, but then I'm about to drop. I must be in Pusha. Now the real trappers got to stick around. So in my opinion, that really worked. Again,
you gonna forget about the line where he called the people at the top a clown?
Oh well, that was next.
Oh, okay.
But it was, for me, again, the whole verse, Pusha T's whole verse was just very creative, and I loved it. So for me, Tell the Vision. And again, it's all very storytelling, if you will, about how they made it through and how they got to the top, and et cetera. So Television, it makes sense lyrically and all of that. So I loved it. Television, featuring Kanye West and Pusha T.
All right, moving right along to my final favorite, which was Demeanor, featuring Dua Lipa. I think that this track just felt very different. So I am with you on the fact that you like things that are different. It definitely had a futuristic feel.
For sure.
I think that the futuristic feel obviously came more so probably from Dua Lipa because of her music and how, what she gives. So, what? Because it felt like it could have been a Dua Lipa song that he was on, in my opinion, but I think that he still flowed very well, and it felt so new and different from anything I've heard from Pop Smoke. It wasn't super trappy and any of that. It was very pop feeling.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to say is from my understanding, the song was initially supposed to feature Bruno Mars.
Oh, okay.
And so the song itself was kind of already created. So I feel where you're going with the whole Dua Lipa, how it kind of sounds like more of her swag. But I think he was kind of trying to go in this direction anyway.
But that still makes sense. Even a Bruno Mars, he's going to be a little bit more futuristic and have different feels. So, I mean, ultimately, I didn't have that knowledge. So I wouldn't have known, but it makes sense either way, whether it's Dua Lipa or Bruno Mars. It's still.
Well, no, I guess what I'm saying is that it's technically more of Pop Smoke, not pop music, but pop going in a direction where it was just different.
Opposed to the other way. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying I think that it still makes sense either way, regardless of which artist that you choose. But I do also feel that both of them kind of like met in the middle. It made sense. It made so much sense for both of their artistries, and kind of like how I felt about the one featuring Chris Brown. I mean, it's the same moment. That one just had a little bit more familiarity to it. So. Moving right along, Camarray.
All right, well, I'm following you with Demeanor. I feel like this is probably the least Pop Smoke song, if you will. But I do feel that it does exactly what needs to be done, and that is take him somewhere into a legendary status versus keeping him in this box of this UK drill artist, Brooklyn drill, however you want to call it. I'm actually thankful. I don't know if I want to shout this person out, but there's a friend that actually introduced me to the UK drill music, because I thought Pop Smoke actually created the sound, and they was like, nah, this was
how he created the sound. Okay,
I really did. Before Pop Smoke, I had never heard these types of beats. Was like boom, boom, boom. Like I had never heard that, but then come to find out, shouts out to all of the other UK drill artists out there, because that is where he borrowed it from. But I said all of that to say that this song, Demeanor, takes him out of that box and allows him to be just a little bit different, a little bit more creative, a little bit more edgy. Somewhat like when the Baby kind of collabs with Dua Lipa. It kind of took him out of that box. The chord progressions in the songs, in some portions of the song, definitely remind me of Stronger by Kanye West. I ain't gonna try it. Y'all will hear it. If y'all go back and listen to our reaction video, y'all will hear how I did it and how I flipped that thing and put Stronger up under that thing. But also, I love Dua Lipa's verse. She was sicko-ending, okay? You can't have Pop without the smoke. I thought that was a very creative line. If Pop was alive, this would be the type of record that would take him overseas and make him a much larger artist. And for me, it just worked. I love his background vocals on the song. It was all good for me.
All right, so moving into our honorable mentions, Mr. Jones.
Okay.
Or hold on, let me go back to Mr. Jones, because it's more so it's not an honorable mention like a favorite. It's an honorable mention that I have something that I want to say because it's the single. But I'm gonna pause on that. I'm gonna go to one of my honorable mentions that I actually liked, which is 30.
Okay.
Featuring Busy Banks. All I have to say about this is Busy Banks snapped. Like went in, went off, all of that. And for Camarray to say that Pusha T had the best, y'all. Go listen to how this
got the
boy
best verse?
Snapped throughout the entire song. Like went in, went off, snapped, talked his ish, all of that, and left it all on the table. Cause he went in. It wasn't one of my favorites, but I like his flow. I like how he brought it. He just brought it. He brought big energy.
Okay.
For real. So, did you have any?
I did. Speaking of big, I have to shout out Manslaughter featuring Rick Ross. It was an amazing track. That whole Maybach music sound, all of that really, really works for me. Again, puts Pop in a different style of hip hop that we're not used to really hearing him in. It really, really worked. And also, it may be, I don't know if it's a fan favorite or not, or a fan least favorite, but I like Spoiled featuring Pharrell. I thought that really, really worked for me, and I get
it was
my
cool.
on.
I wasn't like all the way impressed with it. I did see that Pharrell wrote on other songs on the album, which was cool. So,
shout out to Pharrell.
Moving on to Mr. Jones.
Okay, what you gotta say?
So I think that the track is definitely nice. I think that the melodies are definitely nice. I hated the hook. Who has a hook that's talking about, she said she want to be a bartender, and I told her her butt ain't big enough, and she need to go get a tummy tuck before she try to do that, and she asked me for a certain amount of money, and I told her that she gonna have to give it up to the homies, and she gave it up to my little homie, and then he got sprung, and that's the hook, and we're repeating that and talking about that multiple times throughout the song. No, that's whack. Give me some different content. And that's the single you chose? Nah.
Well,
back to the drawing board.
It's not the single he chose necessarily, but
no.
Shouts out to Future.
You
on the track.
as in no, and I got that, but
yeah.
I'm just saying the collective. Y'all chose that as a single because Future was on it, or you chose it as a single because it made sense musically?
But I don't.
It didn't make any sense musically to me, as far as the lyrically to me. Musically, it's dope. Lyrically, it didn't make any sense because of the content. Is like what are we talking about?
But then looking back at the album, what other song? Even I'm not even gonna lie.
How about a coupe? Hey, give me some loot. Hey, jump it up, put up. Like
and
that sounds. That is all Pop Smoke, and it feels
I think
like
that might be
single.
the issue, is that it sounds just like everything else that he's dropped. So with Mr. Jones, it's a little bit more in Future's.
They could have did the Demeanor with Dua Lipa. They could have done multiple.
I think that's
things.
too soon to jump out the gate with that. That if you jump out the gate with that,
I get that. But I think it's so unique and refreshing that I think it's important for us to see him in a different light and for people to see him.
I agree with you.
Now, jumping out the gate, he's been around. He's been around for a little while, and last year we reviewed his other album, so people been listening to him. So not to jump out the gate, you still know his sound. You're just feeling something that's different from him, which a lot of artists do. They give something that's different. Maybe it's too different. I get that, but there are still other songs on the album that I felt would have been more suitable as a single. Period. And I said what I said. Drop down in the comments if you want to catch these hands.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you're saying, but then when you look at the body of work, it's like, well, what other song could have worked? And
cool.
I just feel like that's too
similar.
Yes,
it sounds similar, but it's not the same. And it still would flow, and it would work for what he needs it to work for, because it still probably needs to sound similar and sound familiar to his sound. And then move over. So, I mean, let us know what y'all think.
Yeah, y'all play A&R and let us know what single, if you were in charge of this album, what single would you have led off with first? Would it have been Mr. Jones or one of the other 20 tracks that some of them only are a minute? So those would have worked. But y'all let us know what single y'all would have chosen. All
right, let's get into the grading. So, vocals. I think that the vocals were definitely on point from all the artists on the album. I think that Pop Smoke's vocals were definitely on point. I give a 4.5 for vocals.
All right. I actually gave a 4. I thought, again, we mentioned this last year with Pop Smoke's vocal. Very, very unique, unique may not be the right word, because he definitely sounds like 50 Cent at some points. But it's he has a capturing type voice.
It's still unique because it could sound like 50 Cent, but it ain't 50 Cent fully.
Yeah, but he commands the audience with his voice, and so for that, I appreciate him. I think a lot of the featured artists did an amazing job. If you look back at our review last year, one of my biggest critiques was I felt that to have the caliber of featured artists that he has had on that album, I felt they all should have showed up a little bit stronger, and on this album, I felt they did just that. So I gave him a 4.4.
Just a 4.
I gave him a 4.
All right, so moving on to the lyrics. I think honestly, the lyrics are cool and all, but they were barely above average in my opinion, because all you talking about is a lot of gangster stuff and I know that people can relate to that, but you can still talk gangsta-ish and be creative and be not necessarily rhymey with it, but be more, use bigger words, and you be more clever with how you put those words together, and just make that more epic. So lyrics overall got a 3.5 for me.
All right, well, I gave him a 4. And again, I have to keep reverting back to last year. I believe last year I gave him like a 3. And so I felt, again, this is a step in the right direction. Again, I know all these songs are recorded in the same period of time, but I just, for some reason, I feel the growth. And so I felt like some of the last lyrics were like really childish. I don't remember the one where he was talking about the girl getting her nails done, and I was just like, wait, what? So there was, in my opinion, there were none of those type of moments, so I gave him a strong 4.
All right, moving on to production. I think the production was definitely solid. Can't talk too much about it, to be honest, but I gave a 4.
All right, well, I gave him a 4 as well. I definitely felt that, again, some of the background vocal things that were chosen, which I don't know if they were necessarily done with Pop Smoke being alive or not, but musical production, everything for me was solid, so I gave him a 4.
All right, moving on to the sonic flow. The sonic flow it worked. However, I would have mixed it up a little bit. I feel like the end of the album definitely had more uniqueness and went into more of a pop lane, and I just would have wished that he would have pulled some of that up and showed some of that, like, you're bringing something different early in the game, because we already know what to expect from the album, kind of, you know, based on the other music that Pop Smoke has released. So for me, I just feel like bring some of those other features that are unique artists, Dua Lipa, Chris Brown. I wouldn't expect him to do anything with Chris Brown or Pharrell. Bring some of those artists up that your audience isn't really expecting. But I feel like he is going for his audience, you know what I'm saying, and making sure that they're pleased in the beginning and then at the end. But you can lose a lot of people when you're trying to be, if you're trying to be versatile with your musicality.
Yeah.
Come on, musicality. If you're trying to be versatile with that, you can lose people early in the game, and I just think that you should have spread a little love throughout a little differently. But I still gave it a 3.75.
All right, well, I'm going to follow you with a 3.5. Last year, I gave him a whole 2. So, again, step in the right direction. I felt that some of the songs, the minute and 30-minute song, a minute and a half songs, we'll say, felt a little forced and maybe could have been used for his third posthumous album. I don't know. But again, there were just a couple of songs where I felt that it was unnecessary, and especially having a 20-track album was just like, for why? Let's cut some of this. Cut some of the fat. How about that?
Yeah.
And let's make more sense, and let's make it compact and make it feel good and make it, really, really work. Even if you had taken some of those songs and meshed them with one of the other songs and just did like a dope transition, I think that would have worked better than trying to single out these. Honestly, what it felt, it was just forced. It felt like, okay, we don't want to have every song have a feature on it, so let's put these minute and a half songs with just pop, so we don't have to list it as a feature. And it just came across forced for me, so I gave him a 3.5. All
right, moving on to the grade. So once we add all of those scores up, average them out, flip them, flop them, twerk them, and stop them, we come up with an average of 3.9, which gives us a percentage of
78%.
All right, which gives us a grade of,
drum roll please. Oh yes, we're making it hot. A C+. C+. I think that's better than the last time.
I think that's good. With all the people being on the album, it's
solid.
Yeah,
solid.
Solid as a rock.
Boom, 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 boom. That's what you're not gonna go there. Okay. Nope. All right. So make sure y'all drop down in the comments and let us know how you guys feel about our review. Make sure you let us know how you guys feel about Pop Smoke. If you loving it, if you hating it, if you feel that he could have done without some tracks, you want to love to hear something else. Who do y'all feel like should have been on the album that wasn't on the album? Let us know. Drop down in the comments and let us know.
All right. We also want to make sure that you click the subscribe button. Make sure you like this video. As he said, drop down in the comments. Let us know how you feel. And also make sure you click the notification bell and share this with all of your friends, family members, people who like Pop Smoke, all of that.
The church members, because even First Lady might need to twerk a little something to Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
So, all right, with that being said, we are out of here for this week. Make sure, if you guys haven't already, check out our John Mayer review. We've got double whammies this week. So make sure you check out that review as well. We will be back to y'all next week with another hot, dope reaction and review. Until then, we love y'all so much for watching. I'm your boy, Camarray.
I'm Zaiah.
We'll
Peace
talk
out.
to y'all next time. Peace.